exclusive the state. All right, greetings everyone. Greetings, welcome to today's show on Humanist TV. I welcome you on today's edition of Newspaper Review, where we shall be analyzing, where we shall be bringing to you what is happening around the world, where we shall be letting you to understand what is happening around the world. So stay with me, subscribe, share, and drop your comments on the news headlines that we shall be delivering. I remain your humanist advocate, Obasi Ikechukwu. Yes, humanist advocate, one of the panelists of this TV channel. So let's go to today's business. Let's go to the business of the day. Let us go to the headlines. All right. Exclusive. Abia State budget report confirms Governor Oti. Governor Oti spends. This is funny. This update is funny. All right. Abia State budget report confirms Governor Oti spent 927 million on meals, welfare packages in 3 months, and then spent 25 million on public schools. All right. Let's take this one. Let's take this one. Let's take the next one. If no man is coming for your hand in marriage, get pregnant and at least have a child of your own. Nollywood actor and producer Ugezu J. Ugezu advises single ladies. This is coming from Daily Times. You can pick it up on Daily Times and read. You can get the full details on Daily Times. All right, let's see the next. Let's see this next report. Let's see this next report. Civic organization LAF launches a helpline for Nigerian men facing abuses, trauma, other challenges. This is coming from Sarah Reporters. All right, let's see this one. Let's see this report. Let's see this report. Former Nigerian Chief of Army Staff, Major General Chris Ali, is dead. This report is coming from Salah Reporters. Salah Reporters, you are doing well. You can look it up there on Salah Reporters. All right, let's have this report. Iran-backed militia group hijacks Israeli ships with 52 people on board. It is reported that Iran-backed militia group hijacks Israeli ship with 52 people on board. All right, that is a report from Sahara Reporters, a world news from Sahara Reporters. Let's have this one. New poll in US shows President Biden's rating has declined. as mental capacity reportedly reduces, aides running government. This is report coming from some reporters that new poll conducted in US shows that President Biden's rating has declined as mental capacity reportedly reduces, aides. It is now alleged that aides are running his government. All right, all right. Let's have this one. Let's have this one. All right, let's have this one. Liberia has set high bar for African countries in conducting litigation-free election. This is coming from P2B. This is coming from P2B. It is reported that Liberia, he stated that Liberia has set high bar for African countries in conducting litigation-free election. This is coming from P2B, the Labour Party presidential candidate in Nigeria. All right, let's have this report. Let's have this report. Let's have this report coming also from Vanguard News. You can always visit Vanguard News to read the details. Let's have this report. Nigerian minister drags Enugu couple to court for alleged sexual assault of 9-year-old daughter. This is serious. This is not just child defilement punishable by the criminal code. It is also incestuous relationship. This report is coming from SAR reporters that Nigerian minister drags Enugu couple to court for alleged sexual assault of 9-year-old daughter. All right, we shall come back to that. Let's have this other report. Let's have this other report. 4 killed in Kanu Road accident. 4 killed in Kanu Road accident. This is coming from, this report is coming from Daily Trust News. You can pick it and read from Daily Trust News, and there you understand the increase, the high rate of road accidents. Okay, let's have this report. Let's have this report. FG frees 4,068 inmates to the congested prison. Let's take it again. FG, federal government frees 4,068 inmates to decongest prison, to decongest correctional centers. All right, let's take this. Let's take this. Let's take this one. Let's take this one. Okay, let's have it. Ogun police hunts 2 men for defiling minors. Let me take it again. Ogun police hunt 2 men for defiling minors. Punch News. This report is coming from Punch newspaper. You can see how it is reported that Ogun police hunt 2 men for defiling minor, coming from Punch News. All right, let's take this. Let's take this international news. South Korea warns North Korea against spy. All right, let's take it again. Okay, South Korea warns North Korea against spy satellite. Yes, spy satellite launch plans. All right, let me take it again. South Korea warns North Korea against spy satellite launch plans. This is coming from Punch News. Punch News has it that South Korea warns North Korea against spy satellite launch plans. All right, let's take this news. Let's take this news on our headline. Last but not the least, Gaza war, premature babies evacuated from El Shifa Hospital. This is coming from BBC. You can look it up on BBC that premature babies are now being evacuated from El Shifa Hospital. This is report coming from Gaza. The reporter newspaper, it remains Punch newspaper. All right, let's take these headlines one after the other. I want to know what you think. I want to know what to think. Once again, I remain Obasi Ikechukwu. I want to actually know what you think about today's hot headlines, because what is happening around the world proves that cannibalism is beginning to take over the sense of humanism. I will always want our people to be humanistic in whatever they do, to be humanistic. Like, for instance, you see our political leaders have made siphoning of funds. You have a situation where a governor will use such hoping and huge amount of money for his meals, whereas our public schools are nothing to write home about. I want you to give me that report where it is where that has it that Abia State budget report confirms that Governor Oti spent 927 billion. Sorry, yes, 927 million on meals, while he spent just 25 million on public schools. Can you imagine the discrepancies? A single man, a single man spending this type of amount, this whooping amount of money, whereas the public school is only taken care of with just 25 million. In this economy, what are you going to use 25 million to do on a public school? Let's go to the studio. What are you going to, the viewers, I want your comment on this. I want to comment on this. What developmental projects are you necessarily gonna do with 25 million naira in public schools? Public schools includes Abia State University, secondary schools and primary schools, nursery schools. This is what he is budgeting 25 million. Whereas the people feels that once the Labour Party takes over office, that things will be better. Fake promises are being given. So this is how you are going to fulfill your political promises. This is how you are going to fulfill what you promised the people, that you are going to be a better leader than Okezi Bazo. Your better leadership is spending 900 and let me take the report again. Spending 900 and this is pathetic. Spending 927 million on meals alone and welfare packages, whereas public schools, what you're using to take care of public schools is just 25 million. There's a discrepancy. The discrepancy makes it so pathetic. Please, I am calling on the governor to take education seriously, because education is the only from this mental slavery that we live in. Not when 25 million is only invested in education. What do you think? Do you think the learning environment will be conducive for people to get mentally liberated? Do you think so? That is why there is high level of low mentality in our society. The people that claim to be graduates don't think critically, cannot even reason beyond their environment, because our our education system is just funded with mega amount. Why the political bourgeoisie amass wealth, their feeding allowances is so expensive to actually take care of our infrastructure in the place of education. So I am using this TV. Humanist TV is where we tell you the truth. We are not psychopaths like other television stations. Yes, that was part of the things I raised when I and Linda Tilly were equally discussing about having a humanist TV. That other TVs tend to be bought by the government, tend to be psychopaths, tend to be puppet, singing praises of the government even when they are getting it wrong. But Humanist TV is here to tell you, you should take care of education. Education should be a priority. This happened in South Africa that made Linda Tilly during the South African riot that happened years back. Linda Tilly decided to report it herself because the traditional media were controlled by this political class. Most cases, they don't report the fact, they don't hold the government accountable. Even the journalists that hold the government accountable are being subject to some levels of victimization. Take, for instance, if you come to Nigeria, Rufai Oseni will tell you what he's passing through. Okay, over to the next report. Let me see this next report. The next report, no man is. This is funny. It's a funny advice. This legendary actor, Ugezu, is advising our Nigerian ladies that if no man is coming for your hand in marriage, get pregnant and at least have a child of your own. This advice is coming from Ugezu. The listeners, those watching me, I need your comment on this. I want your comment on this advice. Well, there is this sense in Africa where having a child is so important to the African man. Whether you have the means of training the child is none of his business. Just give birth. That is one thing about the African man. They value children, whether you have the resources, but they don't understand that giving birth to children when you don't have the resources to take care of them, to fund their education, is as good as child abuse. It's a reproductive abuse. That is why yes, though some Nigerian religiously, drunken people, religious drunk people will kick against reproductive rights. I don't kick against it. You should have right to plan your family. But these people, because of our African instinct of love for children, even when you don't have the means to train these children, they kick against reproductive rights. Like some denomination even go to the extent of kicking against family planning, kicking against the use of contraceptive, kicking against abortion. But these people will not for one day give your child, if you have numerous children, they will not one day give your child money for school fees. They cannot even do that. But I want you to give birth. Yes, I love your advice, but I wonder how many children our legendary actor have funded their education. You may be funding sometimes. Yeah, I'm not trying to drag you here. No, I respect you so much, but I'm trying to advise our African brothers that giving birth is a very nice advice. I must have to say it. You did well. Yes, it's a very nice advice, but we should go beyond advising people to give birth. Also advise them to find means. Also advise them to be hardworking to take care of these children. Not having children, they will not have the resources to train. Oh yes, and there's no adequate child care in Nigeria. There's no adequate one. In a country that a governor is investing 925 million on his personal meals and welfare packages, whereas public schools is just 25 million. You did not even, the government did not even make education quality. To have qualitative. There's no qualitative education. Yes. Listen, there should be qualitative exercise of the exercise of reproductive right should be qualitative. The exercise of reproductive right should be qualitative, not quantitative. Not a thing of quantity. It should be a thing of quality. Yes, you can quote me that the exercise of reproductive rights should be qualitative, not quantitative. But in Africa, reproduction is quantitative, not qualitative. People will have children just for children's sake because of our mindset here, our sociocultural mindset and orientation. You put children everywhere that you cannot take care of. That is quantitative exercise of reproductive right. But there is qualitative. Qualitative is you don't advise people to just give birth. First of all, you advise. I would have preferred it if you say that if you advise Nigerian women this, if you advise them like this, If no man, if no man asks your hands in marriage, you understand? I have the means to take care of children. Get a man to impregnate you to get children. Not just making a parallel statement and which will encourage people to exercise their reproductive rights quantitatively instead of qualitatively. Yes, this advice I will appreciate if it also includes that the person must have a means of taking care of these children born by single mothers, not a person that is still feeding from hand to mouth and couldn't get a husband should go and get pregnant and give birth. It is not a good advice. It is not even good to our development. In fact, our advice, our ladies, nowadays in Africa, our ladies take marriage as a job employment. You will see a jobless lady, a jobless young girl, instead of learning a work, trying to establish herself, she will jump into marriage, thinking that marriage is an employment and become a liability to that young man. That is why, sometimes when something is structurally wrong with a society, we find it difficult to bring about positive change. We've been shouting gender equality, let equity be done, let justice be done for the female folks. But but you don't know what causes some of this inequality. If you want inequality, the women will not even consent to it because some of them cannot even bear the brunt. Inequality comes with equality comes with, if you want equality comes with a lot of responsibilities. Oh yes, but they cannot bear the brunt of those responsibilities. That is why some of them will not even agree that there should be equity. Whereas they don't know that if there is equity and equal gender empowerment for every gender, you will come out of your shell and your mindset will change. You will stop thinking that marriage is employment opportunity. Marriage is an employment. That is one thing that is increasing domestic violence. A lady that is doing no work, you don't have any means of contributing to your family, you go there and become a liability in your husband's house. You're not contributing anything, both intellectually, both financially. If you're not contributing financially, you should contribute intellectually. But some of these things, these beings, some of these set of persons that have seen marriage as a job opportunity, don't even have anything upstairs. So that is the problem. So I respect you, our legendary actor, but your advice should go beyond telling them to get pregnant and have a child. Your advice should be, if no man is coming for your hand in marriage, get a work and then get a means, get employed, get empowered, have a means, then you get a man to give you pregnant. All right, let's go to the next. Let's take this one. Let's take this one. Okay, let's take this one. Civic organization LAF launches helpline for Nigerians facing abuse, for Nigerian men facing abuses. Civic organization LAF launches helpline for Nigerians facing abuses, trauma, other challenges. Yes, I love why I fished out this particular headline and made it one of the headlines is to bring out something that is fundamentally wrong with our society. There is something that is fundamentally wrong with our society. In my last report, it has it that up to 340 men are being beaten mercilessly by their women. So, and this report now is that a certain civic organization, civil society, is planning to render helps. In our society, men are so neglected. There is nothing. In fact, our fight for gender equality have become fight for matriarchy. We are facing one evil, and in the course of agitation of that one evil, there is no balance. There's no equilibrium. We have a society where matriarchy is promoted instead of gender equity. There should be equity, not matriarchy. Matriarchy is wrong. Patriarchy is wrong. What should be there is humanism. Every human is very, very important. Every human should be equal. Every woman should be respected. Every human being should be given justice. That is what it's supposed to be, not siding the men or not siding the women. Patriarchy is wrong, matriarchy is wrong. But you have it in our societal agenda, in our societal attitude, a situation where women are given more attention than men, where men, in fact, the emotions of men are taken for granted. So that is what I love, why I love what this group is doing. Okay, let me ask you this question. Do you know that in our various countries, we have Ministry of Women Affairs? Where is Ministry of Men Affairs? Yes, it's funny, but it is happening. Our fight for equity has corrected one evil, and another evil is gradually stepping in. Another evil is gradually stepping in. And some of this evil is making women so weak and lazy. I stand for equity. I am a humanistic person, but every human is important, irrespective of a gender. If the female gender is wronged, good, get justice for her. If the male gender is wronged, his face is wronged or is hurt, get justice for the male gender. Not presenting things in your quest for sympathy to sympathize with a particular gender, you begin to do certain things that will victimize the other gender invariably without people noticing it. Yes, like I asked, there is Ministry of Women Affairs. Where is the Ministry of Men Affairs? Where is the Ministry of Men Affairs? Nothing like that. What should be there is no Ministry of Women Affairs. What should be there is Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs. Then you can take care of both genders, the needs of both genders. But I think one of the eye-opening books that Professor Chinwizu, The Anatomy of Female Power, wrote is also affecting the government. You should have Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, where you take care of the needs of both gender. Both any person that is a human being needs your respect. I'm happy that this group is coming up with this agenda. All right, let me use this opportunity and also wish men happy Men's Day. You know, yesterday was International Men's Day, so happy International happy International Men's Day to all men and to all women that respect men, to all women that also appreciate the importance of masculine gender. So I want you to to always be appreciative of this gender. I want you to appreciate everyone. Let humanity prevail. Nothing should create a problem to humanity. We are talking about the problem of tribalism, the problem of racism. And you are now, in the name of fighting gender equality, bringing up some agenda that could divide, that could cause gender bias. I support humanism, but I do not take any gender as more important than the other. So if the government perhaps starts listening to me, you should change that Ministry of Women Affairs to Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs. But if you will sustain it, create Ministry for Men Affairs. all right. Let's take this important update. Let's take this important update. Iran-backed militia group. Iran-backed militia group hijacked ship with 42 people on board. Iran-backed militia group. Thank you for that. Iran-backed militia group hijacked Israeli ship with 42 persons on board. I don't know why Why is the world like this? Why are we gonna continue with these war disasters? Why not say no to this fracas ongoing around the world? Eh? It baffles me that we are still having this squabble, this fracas day and day. We are still trying to patch Gaza war, Gaza strife. Subsequently, as we shall see subsequently, it is now of recent that babies were being evacuated from Gaza hospital. We are still trying to, fight. We are still trying to ensure that there is ceasefire, and you are starting up another squabble. So I am discouraging anything that could bring about more disunity, more disunity in the world. All right, let's take this. Let's take this. Let's take this hot one. Let's take this hot one. Liberia has set high bar for African countries in conducting a litigation-free election. Liberia example has set example for African countries in conducting litigation-free election. Peter Obi. Yes, and I agree with Mr. Peter Obi, the presidential candidate of Labour Party of Nigeria. Labour Party, yes, he contested alongside. He contested against Tinubu, Atiku, and others, and he couldn't make it. So Mr. Peter Obi has looked at the template now set by the Liberia government, which is an indication that African can be good if we can stop seat-tight leadership. A president of Liberia got into election and lost, and he considered defeat. He stepped down for the person that won without going for inundated litigations here and there. So he deemed it fit to accept defeat, which is what most African countries are lagging. The only person in history of Nigeria that have had considered victory without in the line of in this style of Liberia was Goodluck Jonathan. This election is not war. You know, in Africa, we often make elections to seem as if it's a war. Election is not war and can never be war. All over in Nigeria, you see litigations flying up and down. You see, the judiciary being used as a tool to truncate the democracy in some cases. Now and then, the judiciary is being used to rob people of their mandate, as it has been alleged. So sometimes the court step in, and whenever you conduct an election that is fraught with litigation, the people lose confidence in election. The people lose confidence because they feel that their mandate will be collected from them. Their mandate will be sent back in using the court because they don't understand what operates in the court system. So if you do a free and fair election that is devoid of litigation, it will make the citizens to be confident, to have confidence in democracy. But if you keep bringing about a situation where every election matter is settled in the courts, then the people will now lose hope and will think that it's no longer democracy that we're practicing, that we are practicing courtocracy, a system where the court decides who rules. That is what an electoral system that is fraught with litigation does to the mind of the masses. Instead of democracy, government of the people, by the people, and for the people, you have courtocracy, government of the court, by the court, and for the court. So that is why I commend the Liberian government and also the Liberian president for conceding defeat. And yes, I love this. I love the fact that Mr. Peter Obi pointed this out. All right, Let's go to this update. Nigerian minister drags Enugu couple to court for alleged sexual assault of a 9-year-old daughter. Nigerian minister drags Enugu couple to court for alleged sexual assault of 9-year-old daughter. This is quite pathetic. This is not just incest. This is child defilement. Child defilement against Child Rights Act of Nigeria, against the Criminal Code Act of Nigeria, against Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act in Nigeria, and there is violence against persons prohibition law in Enugu State that leans against child defilement. People may be seeing this from the angle that it is mere incest. No, it is not just a mere incest. It is child defilement. Defilement of children below 13 years attracts life imprisonment. Why defilement? We have categories of defilement. Defilement of children under 13 is the same thing as rape in Nigeria. Rape is provided under the Nigerian law, and rape attracts life imprisonment. So defilement of children should be discountenanced, justice should be served. Yes, I commend this Nigerian minister for doing this bidding, because sexual matters, sexual issues, sex-based violation. Sex-based violation is a form of gender-based violence that is treated with a reckless abandon. That is why most people do certain things and go scot-free, especially things that are related to election. All right, I still remain Obasi Ikechukwu on today's newspaper review. Now, let's go on a short break. Let's go on a short break. We shall be right back to give you back-to-back of the review.
Hello, Cynthia.
Yes?
Can we see today?
Are we blind before?
Hello, Cynthia.
Yes?
Can we see today?
Are we blind before?
All right, thank you for that. Thank you for that. Welcome to Humanist TV Africa on today's edition of newspaper report. All right, let's take this one. Four killed in Kanu Road accident. This report is coming from Daily Trust. 4 killed in Kanu Road accident. There is this increase in road accident in Nigeria. There's this increase in road accident in Nigeria. And these issues are often not given critical analysis, because our people keep sweeping things like this under the carpet, in the guise of superstition. With the term superstition, all these important issues that are supposed to be analyzed, that are supposed to be analyzed to ascertain the real cause critically, are being swept under the carpet with the disguise, with the narrative of superstition. Whenever we have this narrative among our people, what baffles me, even among the educated people, that whenever somebody is involved in an accident, it must be one old woman probably suffering from dementia and acting somehow because of the psychological issue is being alleged to be the cause of the said accident. So it has become an issue in our system. It has become an issue in our system, and we choose not to analyze what causes road accidents. In my view, I discovered that most of our road users are not even vast, are not even knowledgeable in road use. I said it in the last show that that just like the practice of law, the practice of road usage requires some skills. You don't just because you learn how to kickstart a vehicle, run into the road without knowing the do's and don'ts. And it's so rampant in our country. Young children, people that has little skill in driving will just take to the road. There will be road accident and other stuff aside, non-knowledgeable in the do's and don'ts of road usage. Another problem is bad roads. Bad road is a problem in our countries, in various African countries, especially in Nigeria, where I'm reporting from. There are bad roads everywhere. There's a certain road in Benin that Benin, Nigeria, that you cannot even pass. Bad roads. And secondly, overspeeding, exceeding the speed limit. Exceeding the speed limit. Wrong overtaking. Wrong one. Drinking while being drunk. So we don't ask questions. We don't, tackle some of these things. We don't call some of these things to order. All we know is that whenever there is an accident in our country, it must be one old woman that is suffering from dementia that must have caused it, or one old woman that suffering has made to be so old, and develop one ailment is now always the cause of your road accident. Pathetic enough. I wonder, due to superstition in Africa, old age has become a problem. Getting old has now become a problem, especially among some of these fraudsters parading as Nigerian clerics, looking for who to use as scapegoats to defraud the gullible masses. I was speaking with a friend yesterday, and the friend was telling me that why you choose to be humanistic is because you've not faced some challenges. What what a gullible statement. Look, people fail to understand that facing challenges and sufferings are characteristics of living things. Why you feel that things are challenging is because of your sense organ of sensibility. It is because human beings have certain characteristics, and one of them is irritability and sensibility. So a suffering-free human is no human at all. When you stop facing some challenges and suffering is when you are dead, when you have lost your vitality as a living matter. But most of them do not understand all this. When they face challenges, they allow these gullible fraudsters that masquerade as clerics to defraud them, and use some of these innocent old women in the village as scapegoats to defraud these gullible people. These gullible people that instead of focusing and getting it right, they are looking for people to blame. Blame games everywhere as a result of the ignorance. That is why we don't tackle the causes of road accidents and hold our government accountable for bad roads, and also hold people accountable when they speed. The communities, it's not only the government. The communities can have bombs, can have roadblocks, can have something that will make people to slow down when they get to a certain point. You can do that. It's not all about the government. You can always set a committee, a vigilant, a group, a security outfit, a sincere one that will checkmate the overspeeding in our areas. But you will be in your community, you see someone overspeeding, exposing himself to risk, to vulnerability of having accident, you keep mute. When the young man gets accident, you blame it on innocent village people, funny people everywhere. That is how mentally deranged our people have become. In fact, let me waste my glass. Let me put on my glass to see clearly the problem of our people. The problem of people that I'm able to see with my glasses. The problems they are having is low mentality, ignorance, blame games. Blame games. All right. All right. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. FG frees 4,068 inmates to decongest prison. If you come to Nigerian prison, you weep, you weep, you weep profusely because when you visit the prisons, you will discover that our prisons are occupied by some persons who may not have committed any offense, that may be victim of circumstances. Some of our security operatives I don't know how to qualify them, are not just competent at all. When there is any criminal act in the society, the criminals must have fled before they will come to the crime scene. So anybody around the crime scene becomes the culprit or becomes a suspect, which is all right. But a suspect is not a criminal. A suspect is presumed innocent until proven otherwise. So after your investigation, after these people's investigation, like there was a time we had a prison visitation at one prison in Holy in Ogbet market of Enugu State, popularly known as Old Park. Some of the inmates there were innocent. But what these people do, if they go and arrest people randomly, it happens in Nigeria. If they go and arrest people randomly and discover that this young man did not do anything, what they do is to ask you for money. If you are not able to provide the money, they will just shift you to correctional center, to correctional service. And you remain there because nobody is there to bail you, to give them money. But assuming, in fact, what you have in our society, some of the men corporate, if their brothers are government officials, they will come and bail the actual corporate, and they will be rolling around the street. Why the people that were just victims of circumstances, that were just victims of random arrest, will be incarcerated. When nobody comes to bail them, they will be shifted to correctional center. That is why there is a lot of conjecture. Our brother Mubarak Bala is facing political persecution. These are some of the people you see in prison. People facing persecution, people facing random arrest. So that is why the government have deemed it necessary to, decongest the prison. Because even if you go to except prisons like Kuje prison, other prisons in Nigeria are like a pit house where they rare. Thank you for that. I love this. Thank you for bringing it out. And if it were possible to zoom it, it would have been zoomed for people to see the ill-equipped prisons that the inmates in Nigeria stay. So if you come to our prisons in Nigeria, you may be infected, except few prisons that are well equipped. All right, let's take this last one. Let's take this last one before we wrap up this edition, this show. This last one, Gaza war, premature babies evacuated. Gaza war, premature babies evacuated from Al Shifa Hospital. I keep saying this. Let me come to this. I keep saying this, because Gaza war have become a topical issue. Gaza war have become a topical issue in the media. Every day you must have, in one way or the other, you will be listening to Gaza, to the issue in Gaza caused by Hamas and the Israel crisis. These people want to launch a reprisal attack, but the victims have now become some persons else. These little babies that you are trapping in hospitals, are they Hamas? In most cases, the culprit flee, and the people you get hold of are the innocent people. So I want the international community. I keep calling on you to, for once, take proactive actions. So for once, be fair and not having double standard. Go and ensure that there is ceasefire, so that the appropriate laws, international laws and international humanitarian laws will take its due course. For instance, in cases concerning war crimes and crime against humanity, I keep educating the viewers that the Roman Statute of 1601 takes care of that, and the court with the jurisdiction to prosecute and entertain such matter is ICC. So, viewers, let me know what you think. I remain your very good brother and humanist advocate Obasi Ikechukwu on today's edition of a newspaper review. I thank the producer. I thank the producer for this good one. I thank him so much. I thank the viewers. See you in the next edition. One love. One love. Always subscribe to Humanist TV Africa, where we always reach out to humanity. All right. Thank you. Thank you. One love. One love.
Africa, at least a dozen people were killed. They were riot police. Witnesses say some of the strikers
Our objective
Thank you.